Okay, we're going to talk about this because go big or go home is like familiar, and learning to live in the middle of messy, imperfect action is where it's at, people. It's where it's at. So getting from one to the other. So Amy, can you reiterate that, what we were
Yeah,
just talking about?
I was just saying when I think about strategy and courage together, I think, you can have the best strategy in the world and you're still going to need the courage to execute it. So building your strategy intentionally and thoughtfully with, you know, baby steps or, interim steps or milestones, um, is important, so you don't just build this like larger than life strategy and then you're like, yeah, I can't do that.
Yeah, I love that you said milestones. That triggered something that I learned in a um I don't even know how many weeks I received coaching with this woman that helped me get like my values in order of like what needs to happen. But milestones was something that we talked about that I didn't deep dive in at the time. But milestones I know are important for me in being able to have courage to take the next step. Like I kind of mentioned that earlier on here, was that, for me, confidence has always been something that I've been told that I embody. And I realize that that's because I'm someone that likes to be prepared. Like I like to feel prepared. So I I kind of have like milestones that, they check the mental box in my head. Um, do I know how I want to show up? Do I know how I'm like, is there requirements that I need to show, all of those things. So, but I love that, you know, courage and strategy. Like you can have all the strategies you want, but really it boils down to showing up, and that takes courage.
Mm.
Um, so I love that. Did you want to add anything else to that? I don't know. I love that you said milestones, and it made me really realize how much I appreciate when I do really intentionally focus on, but what's the next thing? Like it doesn't have to be what's the next huge thing. I need this. I do need this vision, but I need the milestones. I need to know what matters today.
Yeah, and I think too, thinking about like the bigger vision and thinking, okay, well, what can I accomplish today that helps me get closer? Um, and again, just those like micro movements and adjustments. And, I think about, um, there's some quote, and I'm probably going to butcher it, but it's something like, it doesn't matter how slow you're moving, you're still lapping everyone who's still sitting on the couch. And that's what I think about. Like when you think about how quickly time flies by, like we're already September 21st.
Right.
Like September 21st. I want to say, like, I can't believe it's September already, but like, I don't even know where 2021 came from, to be honest. And now it's September 21st. And think about like how quickly that went by. And if you weren't making these movements, right? And, so if you
Mhm.
set a goal for 1 year from now and you make a small adjustment every day, like that adds up in a year. But if you get to like day 364, now you're, overwhelmed and like, I'll do it next year. But
Yeah. Yeah, and then you need to recycle the courage to commit to something else again, right? That's how we get on the self-sabotage train and go around a couple times.
yeah,
And it's that we aren't being accountable to what we want, to what we need to show up for in order to get the thing that we desire, in order to have a vision and move towards it. We actually have to move towards it. We actually have to step in courage every single step of the way to get to those milestones, to have the results. I mean, there has to be action in that.
yeah.
um
And that's why in Fearless Living, we acknowledge any step outside your comfort zone, because acknowledging all of these tiny steps builds confidence, and then those tiny steps get bigger. And
Mhm.
then like the momentum, if you think about like rolling snow down the hill, right? And it just like gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's what
Yeah,
happens to your confidence. So then it's like you're taking bigger chances. And now all those milestones are getting bigger intentionally.
I love it. And now I kind of want to build a snowman, as we were talking about Frozen.
See how I brought that full circle to
Yeah,
snowman?
that just all tied a pretty bow on that. I love it. That was an awesome pop-up think time. Thank you. I'm gonna pause here and turn it